Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. Today, Bitcoin has surpassed $60,000. I'm so regretful that I didn't post a video last night because on Twitter, I said that Bitcoin has a perfect alignment of the golden pocket on Fibonacci with the CME gap, and likely Bitcoin is going to go to $60,000 very, very soon. And it did, but I just didn't think it would be this early. But if you were following me on Twitter, I guess, then congrats to you. It's good to diversify the content. And I also posted my analysis a lot earlier on the free Telegram community. And using the links down below, you can follow me on Twitter and join the Telegram group. But if you bought Bitcoin below 60K for the final time, potentially the final time, or if you were super lucky and you bought it below 50K during this minor capitulation event, then comment down below. I think my lowest entry was 51. I went all in my remainder fiat and I bought Bitcoin. And thankfully I did because that was the thing that has saved my portfolio. I was down pretty vigorously like everybody. And finally, the portfolio is back up to almost 10K on the 10K trading challenge. We're still not profitable, but hey, I think it will be. I think it will be if Bitcoin goes back to an all-time high. Remember, if you use the links in the description down below to trade or buy Bitcoin, still during this correction, I would say that if I told you when Bitcoin was at 69K that Bitcoin would fall to 61K, you would FOMO to try and put the remainder money you have, which you've been waiting to buy Bitcoin, all in at this price level. So don't fall to market psychology. If you want to buy the dip, if you want to buy Bitcoin, and you still haven't pulled the trigger, then do your own research first. But I think that currently still a very, very good opportunity to dollar cost average and buy the Bitcoin dip. But overall, I think that Bitcoin is primed for a reversal. I talked about on the last video, saying that the descending broadening wedge is pretty much complete, and Bitcoin should make its way back up to the 68.5K territory, which is the resistance of this pattern. And so far, that's what we've been doing. The weekly time frame is unbelievably bullish. Like I've not seen a reversal hammer candle like this one in a very long time. And I just need to tell you, this crash that happened, the capitulation event, which lasted only 1 to 2 days. I've been talking to so many investors, so many owners of exchanges, and they were saying they got record volumes. Like the amount of volumes they saw on this day was the highest amount in history in terms of futures trading. The amount of volume seen in one day on the 5th of August was more than the entire volume that we got, or any singular day of volume that we got back in 2021 all-time high. That is unbelievable. And that just shows to you how many people got liquidated, how many people were over leveraged, and nobody expected this correction. So if you were one of those people, then my I don't know what to say, but I hope you're doing fine as the market is bouncing back. But a lot of people got affected. It was a terrible, terrible correction. Ethereum went down to $2,000, and now we also have a beautiful reversal on Ethereum. I'll get into that in just a second, but I think overall Bitcoin is super bullish. We should make our way back to 69, and then eventually going into October, this trend line will be broken, and $95,000 for Bitcoin should be hit. But what else do I want to tell you? There's one more chart, and this chart I stumbled upon yesterday. I really, really like it. If you've been watching the Moon Show the past few weeks, and I talked about a Wyckoff reaccumulation scenario, and I said that if Bitcoin dumps back to 58K and close the prior CME gap, the Wyckoff should still be intact. But it is still very much intact when even though the Bitcoin is dumped to 49K, because the spring of Wyckoff, it's a pattern. If you don't know, it's okay. It's called Wyckoff reaccumulation. You can Google it and try and study Wyckoff a little bit. It's something that happens on Bitcoin a lot of times in terms of how it reflects on price action. And you have different phases. You have phase A, phase B, phase C, and then phase D. During phase C, you get something that's called a spring, and you want to see a lot of volume on that spring to confirm it. And we got incredible amounts of volume on the day of the fall. That confirmed a spring very nicely. And a lot of top tier analysts that I'm talking to, they're following this Wyckoff very closely. So I think this Wyckoff is in action. It's going to play. We should go back to the top of the range at 71.1K, if I'm not wrong. I do have these support and resistance levels here. So we can see that, yeah, we're playing it out perfectly. If I just add the volume to this chart, you'll notice that the spring, this candle right there, got incredible amounts of volume, and the price of Bitcoin should reverse eventually to 71.3 and then break towards the upside in a very vigorous manner. That's why I'm saying if you've not bought the dip, this is still the dip. Don't be phased out. In the immediate short term, there could be a small correction. I'm not expecting anything major, but Bitcoin is holding the support level very, very well. So let's see what the upcoming hours present to us. The ETFs were shocking to me. The ETFs reported positive inflows today of 200 million. The day before, it was 45 million. Remember, these ETFs operate on a T+2 standard. That means that whenever a price action occurs, the actual inflow to outflow data is going to be reflected after 2 days. So the correction happened on 5th of August, right on Monday. So the data that's presented to us 2 days after on Wednesday should have been like negative 300 or 400 million. But we got a positive data after a 20% crash. I do not understand how that has happened because if you go back like to a couple of months ago when Bitcoin would crash 10 to 15%, then you would get negative $400 million coming out from these ETFs. This time around, we got a positive inflow. And that demonstrates that how bullish institutions are, how unwilling they are to sell their Bitcoin, and how confident they are in the long term. So if these big money individuals like Bitcoin this much and they're not selling after a 20% correction, I don't know what other sign we need to understand that Bitcoin is strong, it's here to stay. The capitulation event didn't happen because there was anything wrong with Bitcoin. It happened due to a global macro effect, and that capitulation is most likely over. So if you've not bought Bitcoin, that's okay. Today's still a wonderful opportunity, in my opinion. And yeah, that is the video. That is why I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. Fundamental side, things couldn't get better. I didn't check Twitter today, but I know that Russia unbanned or allowed crypto mining to be happening within the country. That's wonderful for the hash rate, for the diversification of the hash rate. That's going to increase decentralization, and it should help the network very, very nicely. That was one of the best piece of news that I found. But apart from that, I mean, there is nothing new. Um, Things just look wonderful throughout the entire market. So, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all very shortly. Take care, guys, and bye bye.